In this Sean Speaks episode, I get to speak to you from my heart about an important part of parenting, family life, and a parent's mental health and mindset. I want to help you thrive in how you speak to your kids and how you speak to yourself. Sean Speaks is a live teaching I did with a Zoom room filled with my VIP members. It's interactive, it's spontaneous, it's raw and unedited. If you'd like to go deeper with me, visit my website. I'm very excited because tomorrow night I'm going to the Lynyrd Skynyrd concert with my buddy Charlie. All the founding members of Lynyrd Skynyrd have actually passed on, which is very rare. It makes you wonder and think about this. Of all your favorite artists, your classic artists, you know, what's going to happen when these bands, when these singers pass on or when they retire? Are they going to get a replacement? Are they just going to fade away? And sometimes I will quote famous authors, famous poems. I might read ancient scriptures to inspire us, to teach us about the dynamics of family life. And for today, in honor of my going to the concert of Lynyrd Skynyrd tomorrow, which will probably definitely be the last time I ever see them. And I want to read a couple lyrics from you from Lynyrd Skynyrd here to inspire you today, if I may. Now, I looked through some of the lyrics. I actually have their album right behind me. You might see it in some of my videos. And there's a song in here that is called Simple Man. It's actually the song that made them famous before the song Sweet Home Alabama really went nuts, which I think is the greatest rock song of all time. Just listen to these lyrics and let me speak to your heart for a second on these lyrics. It says like this: forget your lust for the rich man's gold. All that you need is in your soul. And you can do this if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. Be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Okay, so this is the song is kind of like written from like it's a mother speaking to her son about the dangers of life, the temptations of life, the horrors of life. And she's saying, look, this is what I really want you to understand, my son. I want you to be satisfied. I want you to be a simple man. I want you to be something you love and understand. And I was thinking, okay, what do we lust for as parents? I think we do lust for things. You know, we all have different types of lust for cars or money or greed or how we look or different things. But I think we all have this common bonds of what we lust for. And this lust can get us into a lot of wacky troubles. I think some of us, we lust for perfection, especially for people who might even be listening to me right now. It's like, we want to be this perfect parent. Other of us, we want our kids to look perfect. We want our Instagrams to look perfect, our cars to look perfect. We want our families to look perfect. Why? Maybe because we grew up and our parents were like putting this in our image. We have to act the part. We have to act perfect. Or maybe it was the other end. Maybe your family life was so shady and so messed up growing up. You're just so committed now, just being this like great, perfect family. I think some of us, we actually lust for safety. We lust for safety here in 2023. We do not want our kids to get hurt. We are so afraid of them getting kidnapped. We are looking here. We are looking there. We are just like, we want safety so much. Some of us, we lust for success. Maybe our kids' success, maybe our success, maybe it's just this vision of success. You know, some parents nowadays, they just drive their kids in this success. They have this like brainwashed version of like, my son has to do this, my daughter needs to do this, otherwise for college, otherwise for sports or this. And I think one thing, if I had to barrel it down, what is the one thing that us parents struggle with the lust for? I think it starts with the word C. And I think we all, in our own various ways, we lust for control. Gosh, I talked about that even just last Thursday's teaching call about how this psychology of being the king and the queen, and we create these fantasies in our mind about wanting to have these perfect lives and having things, everything. And we like, now we're the parents, we get to be the king of the house, the queen of the house. We lust for control. And why we're here is because we're hurting because we don't have control. And the way our kids are acting or our co-parents or spouses are acting, it hurts. It hurts. And so the words of Lynyrd Skynyrd, I think, ring true to us. They say, hey, forget the lust for the rich man's gold. Be careful, my fellow parents, of what you lust for in your mind. Because all that we need is in our soul. And you can do this if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. So be a simple kind of merit, a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. So I say to you, my fellow parents, be a simple kind of parent. Be a simple kind of parent. Be somebody that you love. Be somebody that you love. Be a type of parent that you're proud to be. Oh, my kid, though, he drives me nuts, Sean. He brings out the worst in me. Oh, he's driving me nuts. You don't know what it's like. You don't know. It's horrible. I don't know what it's like living in your house, but I know what it's like living with the pain and the stresses of love and marriage. And know these are wise words, to be a simple kind of parent. And that might mean making some changes in your parenting, saying no to certain things, certain sports, certain friends, certain activities, just slowing down the pace of life, changing your reactional parents to be this simple kind of parent. And I think you'll see this. This is kind of what I do in a lot of my teachings. A lot of my teachings just come down these 4 steps to breaking the cycle. And they're pretty simple steps. They're pretty simple steps. Another great lyric from the song, and as I close, is this. The singer is singing, Van Sant, who the story of Leonard Skinner is very interesting about how they're actually from Florida, and they got in this janky shack. You can see one of the an amazing documentary on Amazon about them. I think they have one on Netflix too, about how these young guys in their 20s who just are singing these party songs actually just got into this shack on the side of this river in Florida, and they were just so in love with music. They just loved music. They just got together in this shack, and they just wrote these amazing songs that still have lasted these times. And then soon after that, you might have heard that there was a horrible plane crash, and the lead singer passed away, and some of the other lead founding members passed away. And then soon after that, the lead singer's brother, who happens to look like him and sing like him, took over the lead singing spot. Now he's been singing as the lead singer of Leonard Skinner for all this time. And the lyric goes like this: oh, take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. So as we heard from even Mike sharing, as he shared, you know what, I thirst and I long for those days when my kids were younger, when they were arguing about toys. We will all be old one day. We will all die one day. And last night I was staring at my my 7-year-old daughter as I was kind of putting her to bed, and she was not listening to me. She was not doing well. And I just stared at her, and I just looked at her, and I just said, thank you for this moment, because this beautiful little 7-year-old is my youngest, and I'm never going to have this moment back again. And I even prayed. I said, God, please help me remember this moment when I'm old and crusty, that this moment and that this is it. This is one of the last times in my life I'm ever going to be sitting with a 7-year-old sweetie pie who's got janky teeth coming out of her mouth because she's losing them like crazy. And this is it. Parents, thank you for letting me be a positive voice in your life. I love you and I love your family. If you're sick and tired of those same painful patterns in your parenting or the same painful bad behaviors in your kids, then what are you waiting for? Join me in my VIP membership. I'd love to speak with you and give you the specific tools that you need.